Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Tigers Baseball Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Schulte, and it is Monday, April 11th, 2026. We are a week from the Canadian observance of Queen Victoria's birthday. I have no idea why they want to do that, but you know what? She's dead. She doesn't care. We're also 2 weeks away from Memorial Day, and we are past the quarter pole of the season. The Tigers are just a touch under 500. They're a game and a half. They're a game back of Cleveland in the standings, and they're getting through. Let's start with the injury report. As I made the comments last week about stuff coming across your phone. After I recorded this pod last week, about 3 hours before game time in Detroit against the Red Sox, it came across my phone that Tarik Skubal was going to go in and have loose bodies removed from his elbow, from his pitching elbow, and that's never good. His time frame is the end of June, early July for return. Justin Verlander is targeting the end of May, early June for a return. He is throwing simulated games right now. Not sure if he's going to go off on a rehab start or not. And Casey Mize is also looking at the middle of May, so probably sometime within the next week and a half. Let's see, it's the 11th now. The middle of May exactly would be the 15th, noon on the 15th to be exact, because there are 31 days in May, and so that would be 15 and a half days. I don't see him showing up on the 15th. I don't see him starting on Friday. Probably next Tuesday or Wednesday is my guess. They're looking at him doing a rehab start or throwing to hitters. He's got to do a simulated game at least. He's been keeping his arm active, and that's good. He's been maintaining a throwing progression while dealing with an adductor strain, a mild adductor strain, and so he says he's fine and he's doing well, and he appears to be throwing well in his throwing progression. So we'll see how that goes. Now, with all that being said, Troy Melton threw 3 perfect innings on Friday, struck out 5, threw 27 pitches, 22 strikes, 5 balls. Topped out at 96.4 miles an hour. His average fastball was a little over 95 miles an hour. And he threw a bullpen after his 3-inning start in Single A Lakeland because he needed to get some work in. He was so efficient, they didn't want him to go past 3 ups, and so they ended up putting him in the bullpen and having him throw another 20 or so pitches in the bullpen to make sure that he got his work in. This is a common thing. They do this in spring training a lot too. You'll see pitchers, and this is what they're doing for Melton. They're basically doing his spring training work now. So he had 2 innings, an inning and 2/3 back on the 1st of May. He went 3 innings on the 8th. He'll probably start again within the next few days and throw 4 innings. Get 4 ups if he can. If not, then we'll see. But he looks like he's coming along pretty well. And of course, Detroit could really use him with Skubal down and Mize down, and Flaherty being Flaherty. And of course, Framber Valdez. We'll get to him in a minute. But they could really use him, and we'll see if that becomes a thing within the next couple of weeks, because he's on a pace right now. Look, if he gets 4 ups, then that's okay. If he gets 4 ups in a minor league start, and he's looking at probably at going to High A Grand Rapids or possibly Triple A Toledo in the next few days. to get his work in there, because then he's closer to Detroit, which means he could probably get into Detroit really quick and help this rotation, which is really hurting. It's really hurting right now. Literally, it's really hurting. Justin Verlander, as I said, he's doing a bullpen, or he's doing simulated games. He threw 38 pitches in a simulated game last weekend. He's on track for the end of May, beginning of June. So we'll see where that goes. On the position player side of things, Gleyber Torres is still day-to-day. He's not doing any kind of rehab work as far as we know. There's no structural damage to his oblique, but it is an oblique strain, a mild oblique strain. He's doing his rehab work, and we'll see where things go from there. Javi Baez is looking at possibly the end of May to the beginning of June. He's doing rehab work on his ankle sprain. Of course, Parker Meadows is still out and will be out probably until my guess is August or September. They surgically repaired his left wrist and his right wrist, and that's going to be a process, and then he's got to go through rehab, and I don't know that we see him until at the very earliest September, and if we do, it's going to be mid-September, and you just never know. You never know with how things are going to go with that. Kerry Carpenter went on the injured list yesterday with a left shoulder sprain. He sprained his AC joint. That is the joint. If you look at where your shoulder joins your collarbone, it's right there. It's right in there. It's called the acromion clavicular joint, and it's where your shoulder and your collarbone join up. There's a little bone on your shoulder called the acromion process, and that's the where your shoulder and your collarbone join. That's where your AC joint is, and he sprained that joint crashing into the wall at Kauffman Stadium on Saturday. And of course, Detroit put him on the IL yesterday. Recalled Gage Workman, left-handed hitting infielder / outfielder, and all he did was come up in his very first major league at bat for the Tigers. He got he had a cup of coffee with the Cubs and the White Sox last year, but was sent back down to the minors. And as a Rule 5 draft pick, he was sent back to the Tigers. They got him back for $50,000. So the bottom line is he came up last night in his very first major league at bat with the Tigers, and he hit a bomb that was the game winner for the Tigers, put him up 5-3 over the Royals, and they ended up winning that game. Zach Short is back after being DFA'd and then re-signed. So we've got two Zachs on the team. We've got Short and McKinstry. Zach Short, of course, is the shortstop that was drafted by the Tigers a few years ago out of Sacred Heart University, and he's a good defensive player. He's a good, solid number 9 hitter. He's drawn a few walks. He's not gonna do any major damage as a hitter, but he can drive the ball a little bit when he needs to. But good on base guy and solid defensive player, which Detroit needs right now. Look, I'm gonna get to this in a minute, but it's tough watching this team right now. It's very tough watching this team. As a matter of fact, let's get to it now. I turn on the ball game these days and I think, how are we going to lose today? And that's sad, because this is a team that's built to win. This is a team that's supposed to win. This is a team that many many people had representing the American League in the World Series. I don't think they're that good. I don't think they're that capable. I think they are exactly what they were last year. Game 5 of the LDS and go home. I don't think they have what it takes to win the division. I think Cleveland is still the class of the Central. I hate to say that. It makes me choke to say that. But it's the truth. I think this team was exposed last year, and that exposure is continuing this year. Sure, Kevin McGonigal's great. He's going to be a very, very, very good player. He's earned that $150 million contract extension that he got earlier this year. He's going to be an absolutely outstanding player. Yes, Riley Green is hitting lefties better. Yes, Spencer Torkelson went on that five homers in 5 games tear that he was on earlier. Parker Meadows is hurt. Kerry Carpenter is hurt. Stop me if you heard this before. Like, I don't know, last year. In 2024. All right? You're running essentially you're running 3 bullpen days out of 5. And I say that because Jack Flaherty isn't pitching the way he should. Jack Flaherty is returning to type, which is what he was when you signed him in 2024. He had a good half a season. Oh, well, Chris, his start against the Red Sox was pretty good. His defense let him down. Okay, I get that. I'll accept that. That's 1 start out of like 6, 7. Well, what about his start in Minnesota? All right, that's 2 starts. You're going to tell me that once every 6 or 7 starts, he's going to be good, and the other 5 or 6 starts, you're going to get 3 innings of garbage and end up losing because you got to go to the bullpen and hope the next day that Kader Montero bails you out? It's a lot of pressure to put on a kid. So, Detroit had a bullpen day on Sunday because of Casey Mize's injury. Then they had a bullpen day on Monday because of Tarik Skubal's injury. The one guy that you spent $38 million a year on for the next 3 years, when you could have taken that money and put it towards a contract extension for Tarik Skubal, the guy who's supposed to put this rotation over the top, the guy who's supposed to bring a presence to the locker room and to the clubhouse and be the guy that makes this team a contender for the World Series. Goes out, gives up 3 balls that are still chasing the International Space Station in orbit right now. 7 runs, 3+ innings, and oh yeah, gets upset, throws a little mantrum. We'll call it a frantrum because he's Framber Valdez. He throws his little frantrum and decides, I'm going to hit the next batter. I'm going to hit Trevor Story and get myself suspended for 6 games. Now, it got reduced to 5. But now you've put your team in another bad spot. You put them in 2 bad spots because now they got to piece together Another bullpen game with Jack Flaherty pitching on Wednesday. Another bullpen game. 3 in a row. Essentially 4 in a row, because Jack Flaherty only went 4 innings on. He might have gone 5 on Wednesday. Might have. I don't remember it. I try to block out his starts. He's that bad. So you've essentially put you've added more innings to an already taxed bullpen because you don't like getting beat up. So you're going to throw a baseball at somebody. No. Not smart. Not cool. And I hope that there's something other than a suspension involved for Framber Valdez. I hope the Tigers could do something. Fine him. Do something. Oh, well, he's going to miss a start. That's going to cost him a game check. Yeah. And I understand that you can't suspend him from the team. I get that. But I really hope his teammates went in and said, "Nice job there, Franny. Nice move. Way to go. Thanks for helping us out when we really needed to call on you, when we really needed to count on you, when we really needed you to be there, you let us down. Thanks. Appreciate it. You're such a good guy. You're such a wonderful teammate. It's awesome, dude." From Kevin McGonigal all the way up to Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson and Jake Rogers and Dylan Dingler, all the guys. I really hope all the guys went up to him and was like, "Yeah, dude, appreciate that. You sort of spit the bit there. Thanks a lot." Can't handle it. Can't deal with the fact that you've got emotions going through your body. You're a little bit angry. You're a little bit upset. So you're going to go quiet and throw a baseball at somebody. Trevor Story didn't even hit a home run off of him. If you're going to hit somebody, hit one of the guys that bombed you. Sure, Trevor Story had a couple of hits off of him, but they stayed in the yard. I heard a guy call into the local sports station here and the guy said he should have hit him, he should have paralyzed him because he was tipping his pitches and they were taking advantage of the fact that he was tipping his pitches. That's baseball, dude. That's baseball. If you tip your pitches, if a Tigers player did that, he'd be a genius. But a Red Sox player did it, so he deserves to be in a wheelchair? No. Not smart, dude. These are the fan idiots that I talk to friends about all the time. These people that sit there and oh, McGonigal's 0 for 16, send him back to the minors, he's garbage. No, he's not. Baseball's a hard game. You're hitting a round ball with a round bat, and the ball's going 99 to 101 miles an hour most of the time, and it's spinning at 27 to 2,800 RPMs. Yeah, good luck with that. I couldn't do it. Most people in the world can't do it. That's why these guys are as good as they are. In a sport where 300 is considered successful, in a sport where a 30% success rate, in a job where a 30% success rate is considered above average, is considered a benchmark, you're telling me that you're not going to take whatever advantage you can get within the rules? It's not against the rules. The guy's tipping his pitches. Heck, was it Trevor Bauer a couple of years ago with the Dodgers during a game against the Padres told Fernando Tatis Jr. what was coming? Standing out there on the mound, he's like, yeah, I'm throwing a fastball right down the middle. If you can hit it, good luck. He threw it and blew him away. You know why? Because baseball's hard. You can know what's coming, but you still have to execute. Trevor Story executed. Other hitters for the Red Sox executed. Framber Valdez didn't. And then decided, I'm going to hit somebody because I'm mad. Stupid. It's not the type of player that we want on this team. And we've got at least one more year of him. At $38 million a year. Could have signed Skubal for that. Could have extended Skubal for that kind of money. Might have cost you a little bit more. Oh, well, Chris, now he's hurt. Yeah. So what? At least I know that when he's in a tough situation, he's not going to go all crybaby pee pants and hit somebody. He's going to pull up his big boy boxers and do what he has to do to get out of the situation. Oh, Skubal's hit guys before. Don't you remember David Fry? Yeah, I remember David Fry, but it was an accident. And you know what? Tarek Skubal went and visited him in the hospital that very night and had a nice long talk with him and apologized. Because he's a classy guy. He's a good guy. Detroit gets swept by Boston. Detroit gets walked off and then walloped by Kansas City in 2 out of 3 games and wins last night. And they're half a game out of first place. But this is the team that we have. This is the team that everybody's saying is going to represent the American League in the World Series. I don't think so. The offense, garbage right now. Oh, well, it's cold. Yeah, it's cold for people in Kansas City. It's cold for people in St. Louis. It's cold for people in Chicago. You think Munetaka Murakami's hitting or playing in this kind of weather in Japan? I doubt it. He's got 15 bombs. It's cold in New York. It's cold in Boston. It was colder in Boston the weekend that Detroit went up there than it was in Detroit when Boston came back to Detroit. Don't give me this it's cold crap. Because every other team has to play in it just as much as we do. Oh, the Dodgers got to play on the West Coast. Did you know what happened before the Dodgers-Rockies game 3 weeks ago? The weekend that Detroit was in Boston. You know what they were doing in Colorado? Shoveling snow off the field. The Dodgers had to play in it, and guess what? The Dodgers played in it, and they hit. They did what they had to do. Oh, that's Coors Field. Doesn't matter. The weather's still cold. I don't buy this. It's cold. You either perform or you don't, and right now Detroit isn't. If you want to get in touch with the show, leave a comment on the YouTube page if you feel like it. I will definitely answer it and check it out. You can also email the show at, the email address is tigersbaseballpodcast@gmail.com. It's the world's longest email address. I'm proud of that. You can also get in touch with the show on Mastodon at tbpodcast at tweezecake.social. You can catch me on Twitter at Podcast Tigers, and I will get it. I will read your comments. I will respond. This is the kind of podcast that you're going to get, folks. This is the kind of fan that I am. I am the realist. I love my Tigers. I love my baseball. I love my Tigers baseball. But I'm also smart enough and realistic enough to understand that this team has problems. This team is not the team that everybody outside of everybody that's outside of the city of Detroit thinks it is. This isn't the team that most fans think it is. It's worse. And until Scott Harris does something about it, it's going to stay that way. If you don't like realism, don't listen to the podcast. If you do like realism, you're right where you need to be. Detroit's got New York this week, and then they come home for 3. I don't remember who we're playing this weekend. Yeah, that makes me feel stupid. I want to say Kansas City's coming back this weekend. Then next week we got the Guardians. That'll be fun. Until next week, I'm Chris Schulte. Thanks for listening, everybody. And as always,